As you're aware, the Prime Minister will pay an official state visit to Bangladesh on the 26th and 27th of March at the invitation of Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Her Excellency Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. The visit comes at a momentous time in our bilateral ties. Bangladesh is celebrating the 50th anniversary of its liberation war. India had lent its full support to this noble cause in which Indian soldiers also sacrificed their lives. Both countries are commemorating 50 years of the establishment of diplomatic ties this year. India, as you're aware, was one of the first countries to recognize Bangladesh in 1971, and 6th of December 1971 to be precise. This is also the year of commemoration of the 100th birth anniversary of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, the father of the Bangladesh nation, being celebrated throughout Bangladesh as Mujib Borsho. This is the first visit of the Prime Minister after the onset of the COVID pandemic. This highlights the significance that India attaches to its ties with Bangladesh. The Prime Minister will join Bangladesh's National Day celebrations on 26 March and will deliver an address on the occasion at the National Parade Ground in Dhaka. During his two-day program, the Prime Minister will call on His Excellency Mr. Abdul Hamid, President of Bangladesh. He will hold restricted and delegation talks with Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Dr. A.K. Abdul Momen, Foreign Minister of Bangladesh, will call on the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister will also interact with diverse groups of Bangladesh's polity and society. This will include representatives of the ruling 14-party alliance, the opposition party in the Jatiyo Sangshad, which is the Bangladesh Parliament, Mukti Jodhas, who are freedom fighters, community leaders, youth icons of Bangladesh. On the first day of the visit, the Prime Minister will pay homage at the National Martyrs Monument in Sawar. Both Prime Ministers will inaugurate the Bangabandhu Bapu exhibition in Dhaka that will showcase the life and legacy of these two great leaders. Considering the special significance of the historic Mujib Borsho, the Prime Minister will visit the Bangabandhu Mausoleum Complex at Tungipada, Gopalganj district in Bangladesh, and he will be the first Indian dignitary to ever visit Tungipada, which, as many of us would know, is the family home of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. Prime Minister will also visit heritage sites of cultural importance in Shatkhira and Orakhandi. A decision has been taken at the highest levels to jointly commemorate Mujib Borsho, the 100th birth anniversary of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. You have also seen that the Gandhi Peace Prize for 2020 has been conferred on Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman in recognition, and I quote, of his outstanding contribution towards social, economic and political transformation. Prime Minister Modi has said that the legacy of Bangabandhu has made the heritage of both countries more comprehensive and deep-rooted, and that the path shown by Bangabandhu has laid a strong foundation for the partnership, progress and prosperity of both countries over the last decade. As my remarks have illustrated, this visit will be of very special significance and will serve to highlight the celebration of our unique and special ties, which reinforce our comprehensive strategic partnership with Bangladesh. Bangladesh is at the intersection of our Neighbourhood First and Act East policies. Today it is our largest development partner, our largest trade partner in the region, and is also the location of our largest visa operation in the world, probably the largest anywhere in the world. Despite the pandemic, both sides have been able to maintain a steady momentum in our ties. You would recall that last December, both Prime Ministers had held a very successful summit, albeit virtually. External Affairs Minister visited Dhaka recently on the 4th of March. He had called on the Prime Minister and met his counterpart, the Foreign Minister of Bangladesh. In September last, the two Foreign Ministers had co-chaired the Joint Consultative Commission meeting. I had also visited Bangladesh twice during the course of 2020. In the last few months, there have been several high-level meetings between both our sides, including at the level of the Secretaries of Home Affairs, Water, Commerce, Power and Defence. As you can see, there's a very, very comprehensive range of areas that these secretaries cover. DG level talks between the BSF and BGB, and the first police chiefs dialogue was also held. Our Chief of Air Staff visited Bangladesh a few weeks ago So all of this will tell you that the momentum that our relationship has achieved is being continued, and this is reflective of a mutual desire to remain engaged in all areas of bilateral cooperation. We have also been able to make progress on a number of other significant areas. Our partnership in combating COVID-19, including the rollout of vaccines, our development partnership, enhancing connectivity, and increased cultural contacts. Let me specifically highlight a few points in this regard. Bangladesh is the largest recipient of Made in India vaccines so far. This is in line with the assurance given by the Prime Minister that we will do our best to meet Bangladesh's requirements. On connectivity, we have made good progress in the last year. Both Prime Ministers recently inaugurated the Maitre Setu Bridge across the river Feni in South Tripura. The Chilahati-Haldibadi rail link was inaugurated in December 2020, thus restoring 5 of the 6 pre-1965 rail connections. During the pandemic, we were able to expand the movement of goods, trade goods, using the railway route. Because of the restrictions on road traffic, the rail route was opened up in a more significant manner. This has proven to be highly successful in cost-effective transportation, time savings for businesses on both sides. In addition, successful trial runs of the transshipment of Indian cargo from Kolkata to Tripura via Chittagong and Mongla ports were also undertaken. 2 new routes under the protocol on inland water transit and trade connecting Tripura with the national waterways have been added, and efforts are on to improve facilitation for trade at our land borders. Another first for the participation of a 122-member tri-service contingent of the Bangladesh Armed Forces in our Republic Day parade in January. 2 Indian naval ships, INS Kulish and INS Sumedha, visited Mongla port from 8th to 10th March this year, marking the first naval visit that we have undertaken to the port of Mongla in almost 50 years. So you can say that from 1971 is the first time that Indian naval ships have visited Mongla port, and it's a very significant development. We have also gifted 18 new 120mm mortars to the Bangladesh Army in December 2020. This is army-to-army cooperation. As a reflection of the growing cooperation, both sides will be signing a range of agreements during the Prime Minister's visit. These agreements will cover a number of areas of our cooperation. Some of the areas are disaster management, trade, oceanography. Going beyond the agreements, we will also have new announcements to make, covering cooperation in the areas of culture, preservation of the spirit of 1971, health, railways, education, border development, power cooperation, and startups. So as you can see, a number of new areas of cooperation have also been introduced. We have also reinforced the existing areas of cooperation, and so there has been, despite the COVID-19 pandemic, forward movement and momentum has been sustained in this very vital relationship. In closing, I want to mention that our relationship with Bangladesh has attained historic heights in strong political and people-to-people ties. This has facilitated a partnership marked by conversations and discussions in candor, friendship, and comfort. Under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, our 2 countries have made remarkable progress in all areas, fully justifying this era being referred to as a Shonali Adhyay or a golden era in our relationship. Prime Minister Modi is looking forward to his visit and interacting with the leadership of and people of Bangladesh. We are confident that this visit will be another significant milestone in our bilateral relations and will further consolidate the strength of our ties and our mutually beneficial cooperation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for such a comprehensive presentation, both the details of the visit as well as the context in which the visit takes place. Ladies and gentlemen, because the visit is so soon, we have a time constraint today, and so we'll try to keep it to a very minimal of questions. You know the ground rules better than I do. 1 question, let's stick to that, and let's see if we have time. And if I could request you to stick to the topic of Bangladesh visit itself, and we'll see how it goes. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
May you also, since for my benefit, please introduce yourself and
what exactly do you mean by cultural, expanding cultural relations and ties, and what exactly do you specify what areas between India and Bangladesh?
Well, you know, cultural ties, in a certain sense, require very little facilitation. I mean, having been in Bangladesh myself, I think there's extensive cross-cultural ties at all levels. But there is a level of facilitation which is undertaken by our cultural center in Bangladesh. It is undertaken by the ICCR in Delhi. And of course, very regular exchanges of troops on both sides, cultural troops of all kinds between our two countries. But when we talk about cultural cooperation in this year, it is very significant because of the milestones that we are commemorating. The 50th anniversary of our diplomatic relations, the 50th anniversary of the 1971 war, and of course Mujib Borsho, as I mentioned. And so we will be undertaking a very wide range of events that would commemorate all three. They would be, for example, taking joint exhibitions to different parts of the world, not just in our two countries, but we start with our countries and we go to different parts of the world. The Bangabandhu Bapu exhibition itself will be taken to some 18 countries all over the world, including the United Nations in New York. So it's quite unique where two countries are celebrating their shared heritage, their shared cultural heritage. And I think we will be shortly putting out a sort of a list of all the different events that are involved on our website. It will be publicly available. We will have a calendar of events that will give you a sense of the extent and depth of these cultural exchanges that would be part of the commemoration events that are taking place. So I think most of what we will see in terms of cultural activities will be linked to this very significant year, 2021. And I think it would be quite unique from the point of view both of the new initiatives that are going to come in and from the point of view of the extent of involvement of people in both our countries. As we, it will come out as this is developed fully, I think, over the next few days, but I can only say for now that it's going to be quite extensive, quite imaginative, and will, I think, capture the spirit of 1971 very, very significantly.
Thank you, sir.
Don't hesitate to pass stuff if you need to. Pass some chits if you need to.
Specifically, you mentioned broadly the agreements that are likely to be signed in new areas of cooperation. Could you give us a number as to the number of agreements, the number of MOUs that will be signed, and specifically on the issue of trade? What is the agreement, the broad contours of it, and how will it elevate the current trade partnership between India and Bangladesh?
I don't want to go into numbers because, even as we speak, we are actually tying up the last, let's say, elements of agreements that we're going to conclude. I think it should not be seen, in terms of a quantitative thing. What is important is that we have a very qualitative visit that is focused on a shared history, a shared cultural and people-to-people contact that our two countries have based this relationship on in the last 50 years. It's a very significant visit from that point of view. And please also remember that we had a summit just in December where we signed a very large number of agreements. We will be signing many more agreements, but the visit shouldn't be seen just as in terms of numbers of agreement. I think the quality and the focus of the visit will really be on the fact that on this most important of occasions, which is the National Day of Bangladesh, on the 26th of March, the day on which Bangabandhu declared a separate nation. He declared independence at that time from Pakistan and from the oppression that it represented. I think that is what is significant, that they have invited our Prime Minister to share that dais with the people of Bangladesh on this very, very significant day. So what I'm saying is agreements are important. All of these issues that are important. We will certainly be looking at a comprehensive trade-related agreement. Both sides will be cooperating. Also, we'll be also having discussions, continuing discussions in a comprehensive economic partnership. But this should not detract from the important highlight of the visit. That is the people-to-people element of this visit is, I think, going to be most important. And if you see the fact that the Prime Minister is going to so many different parts of Bangladesh, he is going to Shatkhira, which is in the south western part of Bangladesh. He is going to Orakhandi, which is in the eastern end. He is going to Tungipada, which is towards central Bangladesh. He is already in Dhaka. So very, very significant from the point of view of the connect with at the popular level. And I think that is in keeping with the spirit of that we want to recreate that has brought our two countries together, and very uniquely so, where I think there is no parallel of two countries shedding blood for the liberation of one of our two countries. And this is really unique in the annals of history. And this is what has brought our people together and what is bringing our leadership together on this important visit.
Sorry, just hold on.
Sir, both Bangladesh and India have faced the issue of refugees from Myanmar, the Rohingya refugees, and now there's once more influx of some refugees because of the current situation. Will this matter also be discussed with
Well, as you know, first and foremost, India is the only country that shares a common border with both Myanmar and Bangladesh. We do understand that the impact of any refugee outflow will come on us directly as an immediate neighbor of both these countries, and so we have been engaged with both Bangladesh and Myanmar in trying to address this issue. With Bangladesh itself, we have worked with them to, first of all, we have recognized their immense contribution in hosting up to 1 million refugees from the Rakhine state in Myanmar. We have also worked with them to provide humanitarian assistance. We have in fact provided 5 tranches of humanitarian assistance to Bangladesh to help them in maintaining such a large number of people, refugees in their country. And of course, I think we will continue to be in touch with all concerned, both these countries, in facilitating speedy, sustainable return of these displaced persons back to the Rakhine state in Myanmar. Incidentally, we have also worked at the other end. We are one of the very few countries that have worked under our Rakhine State Development Program in Myanmar to create the infrastructure for the return of displaced persons. In other words, we have constructed houses in the villages that these people actually lived in. This is our effort to facilitate, as I said, the speedy and sustainable return of these displaced persons. So, the long, the answer to your question is that yes, we are engaged and we will continue to remain engaged with Bangladesh and Myanmar on this issue.
Sorry, ma'am. If you,
Approximately how
no,
many
no.
houses, just talk about the housing in Rakhine State, approximate number of
Well, at one stage we had built some 200 houses, but it's an ongoing process. It depends on our ability to get materials there and so on and so forth. But depending on the need, we can increase it. But we had already constructed a certain number of prefab houses. Yeah. My colleague says that in fact it is 250. So that's a more precise number.
Besides being significant, so introduce yourself, please. May I also request you to introduce yourself when you.
So this is Manas. I'm from Press Trust of India, PTI. So you talked about the significance of the momentous occasion in March, what you'll be attending several events. So are you also looking at expanding our defense cooperation with Bangladesh apart from connectivity and trade? So will there be any specific discussion on it? And are you also looking at discussing the water issue, specifically Tista River water issue?
Well, security and defense is an important part of our cooperation with Bangladesh. We have, in recent years, signed a framework agreement on defense cooperation. We have extended a $500 million line of credit for defense imports from India into Bangladesh. We have, on a regular basis, undertaken joint military exercises, training and capacity building exercises, HADR exercises with the Bangladesh Armed Forces. There are very regular visits and exchanges of chiefs of army staff between both our countries. It is a regular practice for the chiefs of all of our armed forces to visit Bangladesh and vice versa. So we have an excellent defense cooperation and defense relationship between our countries, an excellent understanding, I would say. As we go along, we will continue to add more and more depth and momentum to that relationship. With regard to river water sharing, we recently had a meeting of the Secretaries of Water Resources under the Joint River Waters Commission, the JRC, between our two countries. In fact, the Bangladesh Water Secretary came down. There was extensive discussions and cooperation on all of our 56 rivers that flow between our countries. And of course, there are issues that involve, not just water flows, but also in terms of use of water for drinking purposes, irrigation purposes, pollution control. All of these areas we work very closely together. We have mechanisms that enable us to cooperate. So this is something that we will continue our cooperation, in the water resources sector, and it's an important area of collaboration between our two countries.
I'm Naveen from ANI. Sir, as you said that a lot of announcements to be made. Can we expect a breakthrough in the TISTA? As you said that it has advanced a lot in the talks between the water secretaries. Can we expect any kind of announcement or breakthrough in this matter?
Well, I think I just quite elaborately explained the fact that we have extensive cooperation in the water, river water sharing, arrangements. We have extensive talks on that. We've had cooperation in managing the waters that are shared between our countries, and that cooperation will continue. It's an ongoing thing. We are not talking about one-off things that are there. You will recall that there has been a commitment from our side to conclude the TISTA agreement at the earliest possible. We will continue to be engaged in that endeavor. That is something that we will continue to be engaged in. And certainly, I think this is also an important aspect from our side. But we should not overlook the fact that we are talking about a very large number of rivers between our two countries. This is one of them. And we will continue to work on all of this.
So perhaps that's the last question. Yeah, please. Yeah.
So this is Mehma Basu from the print. Yesterday at an event, Dr. Rizvi spoke about the fact that while we are part of GRI, we also want to be in the Indo-Pacific. We don't want to choose between India and China. Do you have to say something on that? Is that a cause of concern? Just your thoughts on that. Thank you.
Look, I mean,
Actually, my question is to you. This is Archana Chaudhary from Bloomberg. I had a similar question in terms of would you call Bangladesh your closest relationship in South Asia for India? And how important is it as a Quad partner, not just as a neighbor, but also as a Quad partner? How important a role does Bangladesh play in the Indo-Pacific?
I do recall that our External Affairs Minister referred to Bangladesh as our closest neighbor. And Bangladesh, in many senses, we share the longest land boundary with Bangladesh as compared to any other of our neighbors. We have, we are neighbors of Bangladesh on three sides of its own, let's say, its own borders. At least 5 of our states neighbor Bangladesh directly. And we have, as I said, extensive cultural, besides historical, cultural, linguistic, spiritual linkages with Bangladesh, which go back to centuries, if not millennia. So there is a strong, interconnection between our countries, and today that connection has found, a new relevance. The relevance has come in terms of economic cooperation, development cooperation, connectivity. We have enhanced people-to-people ties. We have made it easier. As I said, we have the largest visa issuing office in Dhaka. We have very regular, exchanges of people on both sides for tourism, recreation, medical purposes, studies. Of course, much of this is affected due to the COVID crisis, but in the normal course, very regular exchanges. And I think, when you refer to the relationship as a golden era as we find it today, you have to remember that when the Prime Minister made his last visit to Bangladesh in 2015, we signed, the land boundary agreement that we have been working on since 1974. 1974 is when we signed the India-Bangladesh land boundary agreement, but we could not conclude it, or it could not be conclusively addressed because there were some significant gaps in interpretation. But the fact that in 2015, during Prime Minister's visit to Bangladesh last, we were able to both ratify this agreement and bring it to a closure. We've completed the maritime boundary with Bangladesh. This is really unique, I mean, if you look at it from that perspective. Our bilateral trade has gone up by leaps and bounds. Our investments between our two countries have gone up. We today have a level of cooperation that is very rare to see between two countries. So it is not incorrect to say that the relationship between Bangladesh and India today is a paradigm which many other countries would like to emulate. This is a model for other countries to try and emulate, and so it is a very, very unique relationship. And again, I come back to the same issue. The fact that the Prime Minister today, this time, is going to Bangladesh on a visit that marks such an important milestone in our relationship is also very, very significant. The fact that Bangladesh has, the Prime Minister of Bangladesh has extended an invitation to our Prime Minister to visit Bangladesh on their national day, on the most significant national day that they're celebrating, which is 50 years. And having been there, I can say that the planning for this event has come for years on it. I mean, they have been planning for this occasion for a very long time. And so the Prime Minister's participation in that very unique event is itself a story, which is why I said that let us not try and conflate that with other issues that are important, but should not detract from the significance of this very, very important high-level visit, that represents a high point in our relationship.
So on that note, thank you very much, sir. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here physically despite COVID.